So, bought this Outlander 400, and it had a broken timing chain, which was from the decompression release weight. And it'll break on these 400s, and it broke off and snapped the chain. So I'm gonna be going through it, tearing it off into the bottom, pulling the flywheel off, checking out the guides, see if there's any other damage, deleting the mechanism that's in the cam, and seeing how that works. Seen on a couple forums how to do that. The valve cover actually isn't too bad. It's got a crack somewhere right there. It's not too bad. I've seen a few pictures of those weights going through that, so I lucked out there. Yeah, we're gonna be digging into this. This is a broken cam chain. I think it snapped off from this weight, and this is the decompression release weight. And I guess they just snap off where the bolt holds them, and it just goes flying, which then broke the chain, which I got a chain for it. I'm gonna delete the decompression release. So I'm draining the coolant right now. Got a little tote underneath there as it's falling on that shield. I'm going to be taking these bolts out that hold in these like drive shafts, the front and back ones. Pull these off so I can get this cover off. Pull the starter off, the water pump off. And all the bolts around here I'm going to pull off to get this cover off and get to the flywheel and where the cam chain goes. So finally got the cover off. The water pump, you do not have to tear that apart. It's just a little gear right there. You don't have to tear it apart or anything. Pull the propeller off. You just leave it on there to take the side cover off. I had to take the plastic like wheel well, like foot thing out. This doesn't come out. That bolt is like stuck underneath this. So this you can't take out. Just gotta leave it there, get around it. But it's a lot better getting this out of the way to get the remainder of the bolts out for the side cover. So now I'm gonna pull off the flywheel. So I gotta get to this tensioner and see what condition it is in. It does not look too well from the top. You see, it's kind of chewed up. Doesn't look that well. So I'm gonna take the flywheel off, get to that cam chain guide, and see how it is. Alright, so I got the nut and the lock washer that holds on the flywheel. Now I'm putting the flywheel puller on, take the flywheel off. The threads on the flywheel puller I believe are 38 millimeter. This nut that holds on the flywheel is a 30 millimeter socket anyways. So I'm going to take this off, pull the flywheel off, check out the guides and stuff, be able to put the new timing chain on. Shouldn't be that hard. Piece of cake. Small key impact makes it way easier. These things are awesome. Love using them. Got the flywheel off. So they ain't too much damage down here other than this guide falling. Or, oh, maybe it's supposed to sit there. Yeah. Don't see any damage though. Part of the broken weight spot that the bolt holds it on broke off. Other than that, it doesn't look too bad. I'll pull this guide off next and see how it looks. It looks pretty chewed up from up top. Alright, I got the timing chain tensioner guide out. It's quite chewed up top. If it'll focus. She's quite chewed up. So I pulled that out. Comes out through the top like this. You gotta hammer like the bottom of this out through here, so it's a pretty tight fit. But I got that out. It doesn't look too bad other than the top's like demolished. But I'm gonna get a new one. Because these have a tendency of like wearing out along with the chain. I got the decompression thing out and the pieces of it. That was fun to get out. It's got red Loctite on it, so it's a pain without a chain on it, because then you gotta like hold it with a screwdriver and try to pull it out. It's quite a pain. So now I can get the new chain guide and chain and be able to put it back together. Alright, I'm going to be installing the cam chain and the cam chain tensioner. But you want to, if you're doing both, if the cam chain breaks and you're putting the tensioner in, you might as well put this in first. It's way easier. I don't even know if you can put it in the other way, but got a little piece of rope, a couple electrical, I think they're alligator clamps, a little piece of rope fished through the top of it, so then I can pull that up and pull the cam chain up. Makes it a way easier job. And just like that. I'll line it up on the gear down here. And get it out of the way for that tensioner to go in. Find a spot to tie it up somewhere. Good thing about these clamps, you can just wrap them around something and then clamp them to something. And then take the new cam chain tensioner. There's the part number. That's the new part number. The old one is discontinued, as these prematurely would like wear out easier, and it's way different and way better quality. These go in way easier than this old one does. This old one's like a hard plastic, like a cheap hard plastic. This new one's like a nice rubber feel to it. It's way better, and it's like, I don't know, half more weight probably. A bit more weight to it, feels way better. But installing this, I'll put it through the top. It's a little stubborn to get through this. The base of the cylinder is. A little bit stubborn to get through right here. And you just bring it down. You'll line it up, put the bolt in, which is this guy. Put some red Loctite on it, throw it in, and it should be good. Red Loctite won't ever come out. You're gonna need like an impact, maybe some heat to it, but that's what you want, because I think it'll be a long time before that wears out or that chain breaks, as all this is new. So I'm gonna install that. That should be ready to go. A little bit of Loctite. Ain't gotta worry about that coming off and breaking something and having to go back into the engine. I don't think they changed the cam chain part number, but I've seen in some forums they did like build a different one, a little tougher cam chain, didn't wear out as much. But this thing has 2,100 miles on it, so if that cam chain lasts another 2,100 miles, that'll be way fine for this. It'll probably need a top end by then, or need to be going back through. So I got that all lined up. Now it's time to put the cam gear back on and line it up, get it all timed up, and delete the make sure I got all the decompression mechanism out of there, the little rod and stuff out. I'll show all the parts that are in that, so we delete that so we don't have to worry about the weight breaking off anymore and exploding everything. So when it comes to the decompression mechanisms, got the weight, got the spring that goes onto this piece. Then you got this rod that goes inside the cam, goes inside of there. You gotta pull that out. You want to delete this. You want to use this piece. And it's like a spacer for the cam, especially if you're going to use the old bolt. I've seen some things in the forums where you can use the 800, but I'm just going to put this back on, help align the cam as well, and use the old bolt. You do need this plate too. The cam goes on first, and then this goes on. Just like, it's kind of like a spacer, but it held that spring in and held this in. And then this goes on top of that, which goes on top of that onto the cam. So I'm gonna line it up to do top dead center. I'm just gonna watch the connecting rod and see where it's at, and this flywheel key as well, and then put a screwdriver in the spark plug hole and feel where the piston is at, and find it at top dead center. Then line up this cam, line it up level with like the top of the head, these two marks. Line it up with the top of the head where the valve cover goes. I'm gonna do all that, and then should be good for timing. And then you gotta put the timing chain tensioner in this guy, which you gotta manually set it. So I'll do that. Right about there. Take this. That. You do want to put red Loctite on this. I haven't done it yet. I'm just going to make sure that the timing is right before I throw it on there, because it's going to be a pain to try to get that back off. I believe that's a 12. No, that's 13. I just gotta put the timing chain tensioner in and tension the chain up, and it should be good to go. So I got the flywheel on, and then I put the side cover on, put some gasket maker Yamabond 4 on there. That's what I use for any side covers, cases. When I split them, I use that to seal them back up. And these bolts are 7.5 foot-pounds. And slap that on. I don't know what the torque spec is for this. It did have some kind of Loctite on it. Looks to be yellow, but I don't know what that is. I'm probably gonna put blue Loctite on there. Maybe red, but I don't know if I want red on there. But yeah, letting that dry. Gotta let it like a whole, I think 24 hours. So I won't know till tomorrow to get it running. See how she sounds, see if the top end's all good. For the flywheel nut, I used red Loctite. It had some Loctite on it before. I used red Loctite and then the locking washer for that. So that should be solid, never gonna come off. So I got the Outlander put back together, except for this plastic piece that goes there. But I've been running around. This sounds great. Taking out all those decompression weights and mechanism for that worked out good. Putting in the new cam chain tensioner guide worked pretty well as well. And the cam chain, new cam chain. The tensioner I had to back it up super far, but it still worked pretty well though. Starter is a little bit noisy, and the exhaust is, I think, rotted out. Other than that, it sounds pretty good. I've been ripping around. She's done a really good job. I think she's all ready to go. And that'll conclude today's video. Thanks for watching and subscribing if you do. Bye.